were you tricking? It sounds like you was tricking in a relationship. That was my takeaway. I'm like, and how is she tricking?
I'm screaming.
Like, what?
I'm so
how
screaming
old are you
right
to be tricking?
now.
What is going on?
You know it's levels to tricking. Like, come on. Like, I was young, so it wasn't like I was really tricking for real. But, like, you know, you like, hold it down.
Just
like
the fact that you went out of your way and gave something to somebody.
Yes,
okay,
like you got a little 5 on the pump, or you want to get the breakfast sandwich, say the bacon, egg, and cheese today.
Yes,
I'm coming with your Arizona. Like, that's tricking. Like, if you where I'm from, if that's not happening for you, that's you a trick. Like, I used to buy your Aerie. Like, now you playing me? That's crazy to me. Hey guys, it's Jourden. You may have heard my debut project out right now, Straight No Chase. And guess what, Nyla? We need to talk.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of We Need to Talk. I am Nyla, Symone, and today I got a very special guest in the building, all right? It's a female MC I've been following for a long time on Instagram, so I'm super happy to have her here. Jourden.
What's up, Nyla?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. Yo, first and foremost, I am so proud of you, man. I'm so happy this tape is finally out.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I know you've been on me for a little bit to get this out, so I'm like, Nyla need it. We need to drop ASAP. So.
Yes, please. Okay, so I just want to start with, how do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel like it's so tricky dropping, right? Like, we work on these things for so long. We tweak, we edit, try to make everything perfect. And then, like, you just drop and it's like, wait, like, okay, what now? You know what I'm saying? You're waiting for the responses. You're waiting to just see what people like most. Like, that's really how I am when I drop. Like, I want to get into the science behind it. Like, what are you really vibing with most? Like, just get into the interactions now. Like, people got what they wanted. So, I mean, I feel good. I feel accomplished. I feel proud of the project.
You feel at peace?
I do feel at peace. Okay. Like, I'm still a little shaky, like, because it's my first debut, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what people are expecting from that. So that's, I guess, the apprehension, you know, just a little nerves. Like, this is your baby. So, well, this is my baby. So, but I feel good. I definitely feel blessed.
I love that. That's all that matters. Mm-hmm. If you feel good, and I think it's true to you, you know, like, hearing it, the first song that I was introduced to you through was Flow, and I think it's right on par.
Word, you think that too? Including Flow, that's good because like I was nervous. I'm like, it's a little more vocal performances on here, a little more melodic.
The vocal performance is fire though. Thank you. I was gonna get into it. I think it's
not to jump the gun, but you know, I just
it's either on Winner or Trying to Play Me, but like the way you play with pronunciation and stuff like that, I think that's what makes Kendrick such a great MC is his ability to do that. So hearing you tap into that, I'm like, okay, Jourden, all right.
No, I'm a student. Now we just wake up and just said we was gonna do this. Like I try. Thank you for identifying that because that makes me feel like, oh wait, they listening for real.
No, bro, we are listening. Now, I love that you said that you're a student. I definitely want to know, like, what was your inspirations growing up musically? Just because you don't sound like what the sound is now.
Growing up musically, my inspirations were definitely like Missy Elliott, Lauryn Hill, just obviously penmanship. That's who I feel like I get akin to a lot. They're like, yo, you be penning like Lauryn. I'm like, that's the queen, so I could only hope to be in that light. But André, that's like one of my favorite MCs right there. He's probably like in my top 3 right there. Hove, being from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? You can't escape Hove, Biggie, even just like not rappers, Amy Winehouse, Nina Symone. Like, I'm a fan of like people who I think have a unique presence in their writing voice. So if I feel like you can articulate something and it, like, we could be both looking at this flowers, but like if I could bust this down in a way that you wouldn't really think to describe it, like that, I'm just into perspective like that. So I feel like all those artists had a very strong style and perspective uniquely. So yeah, those are some of my influences.
That's a good way to word it. Looking at this and
Tribe Called Quest, like, you know, like
Love Tribe.
I could keep going all day, but
that's my favorite. Okay, all right, and why the name Straight No Chaser?
Straight No Chase, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm a person who, in my regular life, like, I guess, how do I phrase this? Like, I value, like, decorum or, like, politeness. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try to be very, like, you know, just give people respect. But on this, like, I didn't want to be polite for real. Like, I wanted to say exactly how I was feeling. Like, I didn't want to fluff it. I didn't want it to be watered down. And, like, I'm not even a shot drinker. You know, they'd be like, oh, no, don't chase it, don't chase it. But, like, I felt like that. Like, I wanted when you hear this, you'd be like, oh, nah, she giving it to you. Like, it's no chase on this. So, yeah, I thought that would be, like, a cool representation or a flip, a double entendre, you know what I'm saying, to kind of describe the way I was feeling at that moment in time. So
I love that. And let's talk about, you're talking about how you love André and Amy and all those people for being like unique with the pen and how they come across as artists. And I think that says a lot about the artists that you have featured on your project. You don't have too many, but you do have Foggy Raw, shout out to the DMV, and Davina?
Davion, yes, who's another dope artist.
Okay, yeah. Talk to me about your relationship with them and why did you pick them in particular?
Yeah, I mean, so specifically, don't have like the biggest relationship with them. I'm just an admirer of their art, honestly. So Foggy, I got hip to him from the internet, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people from his videos and stuff like that. He's
very unique, sonically.
Yeah, like the pen, and I was just like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, sometimes you can hear something and automatically think of somebody. So I heard this beat and I'm like, the kind of bop is given, that old school flair, like I felt like he would be the perfect match for it. So we reached out and literally the pairing ended up, like, that's something that's so satisfying though. Like, you're talking about dropping and like, how does that feel? Like, to me, the creative process when something clicks is almost just as satisfying because I'm like, oh, this is exactly how I pictured it. So Foggy came on, did his thing, blessed that, we got the blessing. And then honestly, the record was giving me trouble in terms of a hook. So like I was drafting a few hooks and like, I'm like, I like it, but like it feels like it's missing something. Sent it to the sis Davion and like she sent it back and it was exactly what it was missing. So that was definitely a track where all the recipes came together and, you know, everybody did what they had to do. So definitely shout out to them, Foggy and Davion. Appreciate you guys.
Yes. No, Davion killed that hook.
Mm-hmm.
Kill.
And she's done a lot of stuff on like Revenge of the Dreamers and stuff like that.
Really?
So yeah, she's outside too.
I love that. You put me on to her though. So I'm playing
Check
it
her
here.
out.
But what is, because you guys collaborated for the record Dboy. I want to know, what is your definition of a Dboy?
Of a D-boy? So, I mean, we from Brooklyn. Like, you all know, like, the D-boys that be outside, whatever they doing on them corners. But I don't know. Like, I feel like growing up in Brooklyn, I kind of had the different perspective of that. Like, I never really was in that life. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm affiliated in that way. But it was kind of like my idea of, like, my little cute fantasy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know, what's that about? Like, you always say hi, they always know you're like, oh, that's Diamond Daughter, or that's so-and-so, whatever. But, you know, like, what would that idea be? What would that be like? But I also kind of wanted it to be a double entendre for, like, the idea of, like, I want you to be obsessed with me. Like, this is, like, my, whether it's toxic type of love that I'm talking about in that moment, like, I want you to be obsessed with me like a druggie. Like, that's the words I be saying in this song, like, I need you to fiend, boy. Like, I need you to really be on that type of time with me. So I guess it was also that, the flip of, like, you know, but I want a cool type. Can we curse on this? Yeah. I want a cool nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to have that swag, but I don't want you to act like a typical D-boy. Like, I want you to be all about me, if that makes sense. So that's kind of just a little dreamy thing I was on that day.
I
but.
love it. I love it. So what is your requirements for a D-boy? Like, if you
she breaking it
what
down.
Is gonna be, if you
oh
could
my
pick
gosh.
your perfect D-boy, what is the 3 that he has?
What's the 3 requirements? I definitely feel like that D-boy fresh. Like, you got to be fresh, whatever type of fresh it is, whether it's your kicks or you got your little chain or your hat, you're fitted, whatever that is. So that's one, like swag. The presence, the swag got to be right.
Okay.
And 2 is just like the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to kind of like spit, like, I'm talking about spit, not like me. You don't got to spit like me, but you got to have a little swag to you. But in the air that's like, confidence but not arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Because those 2 like teeter on a very thin line. And that line be so thin with me because you get on that arrogant side, I'm ready to peace. You know what I'm saying? But also sweet. Like, I feel like that's something that is so key for me. Like, if you're not just nice or sweet, I don't really want nothing to do with you. So like, you gotta approach, come correct, come nice. So we got swag, presence, and sweetness. You gotta be sweet. To me,
those are solid 3.
You know what I'm saying?
What's your
think
sign?
So. I'm a Virgo.
Ooh, wait, 2 Virgos? Oh my
Back
God.
to back today. Big
2.
Virgo energy. It's that season.
It's
Shout
y'all
out to all the
season. Happy
Virgos.
birthday.
Thank you. And those are my birthday twins. Nas and Amy is my birthday twins.
What?
Yeah, that's a good pair, right?
That's a great pair. Love
I'm telling you,
Nas.
something on that date is given.
Something
so,
going on.
absolutely.
All right, let me find out. I need to have me a Virgo. All right, so let's start with the first record on the track, Minerals. Whose voice is that like intro drew on the record?
So Cardo, the producer, Cardo Got
Okay.
Wings, is the voice that set that up. So that record came about. Shout out to Cardo again. That's my big bro. Like he just kind of like did one of these to me when I came in the industry. Like he was just like, I see you. Like I want to work with you. I want to support you in whatever way I can. So. We worked on that record out in Miami. We did that record. So me and
Out in Miami.
yeah, out in the yams.
Girl,
you
you
feel
was
me?
living. I love it. Yes.
Right, it's giving Brooklyn, and we made that in Miami. I bring Brooklyn everywhere where I go, child.
love
So
that.
we got to keep that energy. But Carter was on that record, and another dope producer named Ricky, who did a lot of stuff on like Good Kid, Mad City, Schoolboy Q. So we got some people that stamp for real, messing with the kid. But Minerals is a super dope record. I kind of wanted it to just have a chill vibe, like you just in a cypher or something, like you just chilling with the homies, like just cool vibes, like you're not doing too much. And I feel like that to start the project in that way would just be like a cool entryway. It's not too much pressure. We're not giving you everything yet. We're not giving you too much, too little, but it's setting you up to kind of enjoy the soundscape that you're about to enter into. So
I think it definitely did that. What are some records you usually listen to when it's that type of light up type of day?
What is that type of day? It depends, like how I'm feeling, honestly. Like my family's from the Caribbean, we from Barbados and Trinidad, so like it could be some reggae, it could be some old school. Like for me, if I'm by myself and I want to be on some weird timing, like it could just be like some alt rock, some Radiohead, some Portishead. Like,
Really?
yeah, like I'm a music head. Like I'm telling you, like I really enjoy music. It could be some like Arabic pop. Like I don't need to do that by myself because like, yo, when I'm with the homies, like if you put that on the site, they're like,
What's
for real,
going
Jay,
on?
like
Yeah.
you're doing too much right now. We not trying to be on that, but
Nah, that's
yeah,
hilarious.
just some cool stuff. Vibey stuff too, like
Yeah.
I see you got the K-trip behind you, like
Yes,
that's
yes,
always
yes.
something cool to roll up to, like
Yeah.
whatever the vibes is. Honestly, I try not to play aux that much because I feel like when you have some type of musical connotation, people be like, oh, like what you gonna put on the aux?
Pressure, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want that pressure on me at all. Like I'm not gonna play none of my music if I'm on the aux. Like I'm not gonna be that girl. Like it's cool. I'm gonna let y'all get it off, whatever y'all feeling.
I feel you. Honestly, I prefer not being on the aux so I can observe and learn. Cause like
Me
I want
too,
to
though. That's research time for me.
Yeah, like
You as a DJ, of course.
that's
also,
how I'm like,
yeah.
no, I don't want to be aux. I'm not working.
You know
What
that
wanna
pressure,
play?
it's literally work for you.
Yeah.
Because then now you're thinking about, damn, what transition? What am I play next? Like you got your cue, everything. So
Follow up got a hit, like nah,
gotta
that's
hit.
work.
And then you play one and they not really bopping. You're like, oh
I
damn,
feel
was
it
that a
up.
miss?
Hey,
Like
I take it too personal, so I feel you.
too.
All right, and then Straight No Chase. Obviously, was this the inspiration behind the entire project, like that record in particular, or which one came first?
I feel like I don't want to say it was the inspiration behind the project, but I feel like once I made that one, I started to kind of curate it a little bit more.
gave you direction.
Yeah, and then I was like, this is like the title. Like I feel like once I made it, but just that record in general. Shout out to Fredro who did that record, who's been a part of a lot of good, really great music, a lot of like pop hits and stuff like that too, which was different for me, kind of entering into that world. And I would just have to shout out Fredro because he really pushed me on this record. Like he gave it to me. He was like, I feel like we should kind of do. He literally said this. He was like a Portishead type smash up of R&B and then, hip hop and rock and just have it just be a strong statement piece because I kind of was voicing to a lot of producers too that I feel like people know me as an MC, but they don't know that like I really take this craft seriously. And as a songwriter, like I really try to hang my hat on being good with this pen. So I really wanted something to reflect that and show versatility and show growth and show all those things. So I feel like Straight No Chase is definitely my track that show that. I got my stacks, I got my vocals on there. Like, I'm trying to show you I'm serious about this thing.
You was talking your shit, man.
Also, not the subject matter, of course.
Yeah, you was talking your shit. I'm like, yo, who tried to play you? Like, what happened?
Also that, like, you see the theme that we got going on, like, nah, we can't talk too much about it, but
is it like career-based play you, or is it like relationship play you?
I feel like it's a reflection of multiple things, like in relationships and different dynamics in this industry, me trying to break through. I feel like it was just really how I was feeling at that time, like, yo, people's playing with me. And honestly, I feel like you only feel like that really when you don't give that out. Like, I'm like, that's not the energy I give. I be supporting everybody. I'm trying to, oh, you need this, you need that, let's do it. And why y'all not giving me that same respect back? So, like I said, I'm not the person where I'm gonna go on live and be like, yo, everybody is whatever. I'm gonna put in this music, you know what I'm saying, and make some art off of that. So I feel like that's the safest way to do it at this point. So
we like it. Wherever you get your inspiration from, and it's also just relatable. Like, who hasn't been fronted on?
Yeah, I'm like, we all can relate to that, whether it was in whatever situation. So appreciate you saying it's relatable.
Of course. So, all right, next we're going to go with Picture Perfect. Yeah. I love the hook on this record. Did you write this hook?
Yes, ma'am.
You did?
I wrote everything on this. Everything you hear on this is Jourden. Yes.
That is my favorite hook for sure. I had a picture of what life should be. Sometimes life ain't always going to be sunny. It will always be sweet. It won't always be sweet. I'm like, damn,
And that was crazy because that was one of the records. We did that in LA, and I can either be fast or slower writing, but that, I heard the beat and that came immediately to me, that hook. So I was like, that's when you know something's going to stick with you, and it just comes so effortlessly like that. But that's another one. I'm like, if you can't relate to that, like, I thought it was going to be like this in life, but yo, anything can happen, and it really ain't always going to be sweet, but you got to make, what they say, lemonade out of the lemons. Like, you got to find a way to sweeten it up. So yeah, that's definitely what I thought about that.
Another line I like is, I'm not doing this for fame. I do this because it's my calling. I'm like, damn, how did you know that this was your calling?
That's a great question. I feel like it's tough, especially the type of person I am. Like, I like to be so sure about things. Maybe it's that Virgo coming out.
That Virgo.
But I'm like, girl, we need to analyze. You need to try everything before you make sure that this is what you're going to do. But I always just been a writer. Like, I feel like younger, like growing up and stuff like that, it was creative writing at first, you know, stories and stuff like that. Then it naturally went into poetry. And at first I was like, yo, how am I tell my mom, like, I want to be a rapper? Like, she's not going to jack that. Like, this is not going to be something that's going to be smooth, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, how do I do this? So I started with those like other little mediums and stuff like that. And then I was just like, honestly, like, I feel like this is what I want to do. So like around high school, I started just starting the craft. But really for me, what was going to be important is I never wanted to be labeled as just like a dope female MC. Like, if I'm going to rap, I want you to put me up there with everybody that raps. The dudes, the best of the best. Like, I'm not just rapping to be cool at it, especially because I have so many. Like, I have a good amount of family in the industry, so I've seen this for a long time before I decided I wanted to do it too. Kind of get into your question of, like, what made you want to do it for yourself? So I was just like, if you're going to do this, I don't want it to be on the strain for nobody else. Like, I want it to be my own journey, my own finding my way to do this. And I want to do it in my way, which was kind of, like, really trying to highlight the culture and the skill set, which I fell in love with, which was words. So yeah, I think it just, I'm like losing like your initial, your point. I'll try to bring all of it together, but I think it just took me realizing that, well, I was battle tested too. Like, I was going into ciphers at school and high school with the boys, and like, that's what really gave my confidence. Not some gender like war type stuff, but I'm like, these boys is coming in here and they're like, yo, I'm the best MC in the school, like, boom, 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 boom. And coming up, hickory dickory dog, like, y'all not saying nothing, and I'm coming in, I'm barring y'all up. I'm like, so I'm moving like, yeah, I rap, like, you know, like, I'll spit a little verse. And my verses is killing all these boys that's in here, so much so that they're like, we had like a posse cut for the school that we was doing. They're like, nah, you gotta go last, because if you go first, they not even gonna make it through the rest of the track. They're not gonna be trying to hear us. So I'm like, wait, I might got something with this. Like, let me start actually having a little confidence, a little vibrato. And, you know, you can't be a rapper and not have no confidence. Nobody ain't gonna fuck with that, for real. Like, they're gonna be like, yo, she's whack. So just like little experiences
Not
of.
they want to put you to the back of the bus
Yo,
because you're the nice
I'm like, I know how Rose and them felt, man. This is crazy out here. But no, those little experiences I feel like definitely molded me and made me gain confidence in myself. Just also working at it, like constantly being a student, listening to everything, whether I think it's good, whether I think it's bad, just trying to get that scientific, data analysis on it, like really trying to be a student. So that's kind of how I found my way here a little bit.
love it. Yes. Talk your shit, Jourden.
Thank you.
Okay, so trying to play me.
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, what? Oh, that's my question. So wait, were you tricking? It sounds like you was tricking in a relationship. That was my takeaway. I'm like, and how is she tricking?
I'm screaming.
Like, what?
I'm so
How
screaming
old are you
right
to be tricking?
now.
What is going on?
You know it's levels to tricking. Like, come on. Like, I was young, so it wasn't like I was really tricking for real. But, like, you like, hold it down.
Just
like
the fact that you went out of your way and gave something to somebody.
Yes,
Okay,
like you got a little 5 on the pump, or you want to get the breakfast sandwich, say the bacon, egg, and cheese today.
Yes,
I'm coming with your Arizona. Like, that's tricking. Like, if you where I'm from, if that's not happening for you, that's you a trick. Like, I used to buy your Airy. Like, now you playing me? That's crazy to me. So, I mean, that was my small level of tricking. I wasn't doing nothing crazy. Let's be clear. But I think it was just the idea of like respect and reciprocity. Like, if I'm gonna be treating you a certain type of way, and you know that we kind of in the same place too. Like, I don't got it to be tricking, but that's kind of like my love language. That's what I'm gonna show you. Like, I care about you. I want you to be straight. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do that for you. So that was kind of the idea, and that got seated in there a little bit with the trick. But honestly, now like I'm a trick. Like, anybody out there, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I want you to feel nice. Like, I want you to feel like I'll be tricking on my mama. She like, you shouldn't even be buying me this. I'm like, girl, you deserve it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just that person. Like, I will give you my last. Like, if I love you and I mess with you like that. So
I love that.
Let's keep that on the low though. I'm not no trick. I like to be tricked on, y'all. So
period. Okay.
But not play with. You feel me?
There's a difference.
There's a
Trick
difference.
responsibly. Okay. This is what Jourden wants you to take away.
Trick responsibly.
And the hook, obviously the Queen Latifah, Just Another Day flip. I love that record. That's one of my like unwind. That's on my unwind.
Yeah, that's another good cypher one too. Yeah, like you just like, I had a day today, like for real. So yeah, Queen Latifah, a big inspiration in terms of her energy, the kind of energy she brought into hip hop when she came. It was super, literally queen shit. Like,
queen
it's like
shit. Ladies first.
Ladies first, and like you're gonna respect that. So like I feel like even this being my debut EP, like paying homage to somebody like that, getting that type of energy surrounded on my project at all, is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we coming in on queen shit, and like we're letting it be known that this is kind of like the standard. You know what I'm saying? The standard for just respectability of yourself, the standard on how you want to be talked to and treated. Like, I feel like it's not really a lot of boundaries and queen shit going on. Like, it's kind of like, yo, like, I'm gonna trick you out before you trick me, or whatever the case is, or the flip of which could be, it's a space and time for everything, right? We not negating that either, but let's have a little more balance in terms of, let's bring some of it back so we know that we have options, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Queen, definitely love just everything that she brought to the table. And lyricism too, like she was cutting up. Like people sleep on her for that, but she definitely has a pen. So for sure, shout out to Queen.
Queen's one of my favorites, so it made me happy to hear. And then Winner. When I hear this record, it really reminds me of Lauryn Lost One.
Really?
Like,
that's fine.
The talk that you talking, it's like, I thought you was a winner, and that's the same shit. She's like, nigga, you just lost one. That's
okay,
I mean?
okay. I like that duality. So, like, Winner, I like too because I feel like that's cool that's at the end too, because I feel like you start to see that I'm going through my healing process at that point, because it was really like a reflective moment. Like, yo, I really thought you was a winner, but just like everybody else, like you was a sinner. So I can't even really blame you for real. Like, you just going through a human experience just like I'm going through one. Like I talked about, just in the like, you your daddy's son. Like, you feel me? Like, you your daddy's son. Like, how I'ma blame you? You came from that, for real. Like, that's all you seen. Like, I'ma blame you because I'm not going to deal with it no more. But I'm just sitting in reflective space really thinking about, how did we get here, essentially? Like, what was the different things that I did? What was the different things you did? On this whole situation that's even bigger than both of us that brought us to this situation. So I feel like that was definitely my moment of reflection to kind of just, but also to get my ish off too. Like, yo, I got people too that before this gets to anything else on my end, like before my people feel like they need to come ride for me, I'ma just let this be what it gotta be. You know what I'm saying? Let's just peace amicably, a little bit amicably, and just do what we gotta do from this space. But I did want it to be like a different take in that terms of like, all right, we're not just gonna talk about how we so hurt, we so whatever. Like, let's do some reflection to close this to kind of bring it all home, if that makes sense. So.
No, it does. I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
And then, of course, you ended the project with Flow. Very well done. I'm so happy you made it on the project, actually.
That was dumb. You know, the team was like, child, you put in Flow on there. I'm like, you're right.
You didn't want to?
You know, I'm because I'm such a, I feel like a purist in that way. You know, nowadays, kind of how it'd be like, all right, we had the record out that was floating, whatever the case is. I feel like, damn, was I cheating them by putting that as the last one? Because some people heard it, but they was like, they had to bust it down to me like, you still have so many people that haven't heard Flow yet. Yes. Like, you gotta let them, you gotta bring them back to kind of what you entered the game with, and that was Flow. So, I mean, it only made sense, but yeah, I was just like, I want to give them everything they never heard, like something a whole new experience. But that's why we saved it for the end too, because you know, it closes it in a certain type of light.
Very good way.
Thank you.
Flow is still one of my favorites. I can't front. I mean, obviously I've heard it longer, so maybe that's why. But love it.
Thank you.
So what is your favorite song on the project and why?
What's my favorite song on the project? It changes every week, you know that. Like as you get reviews, as you be like, oh damn, you like this one for this. Let me like I'm that person who like I'm a weirdo. Like I feel like if I had a superpower, it would be to experience how people experience my music, like first listen or first type. And is that like vain, like to say that, like if I have any superpower?
You want people to connect, and you want to see how they connect.
Yeah, like I want to know what you feeling when you're listening to this. Like how, like what is it triggering in you, or like what is the thought process? Like I like to get into the real like gristle of it. So, I feel like today, my favorite off the project would probably be. I'm going to go straight No Chase It. I'm going to go the title track. I really try to, like I said, exhibit some different things that I don't feel like has been pushed to the forefront, at least for me so far in my career. So I think Straight No Chase shows that versatility. So I'm going with that today.
I love it. And then for those who are listening to the EP or who are going to go listen to the EP now that you just heard this interview on We Need to Talk, what do you want them to take away from this project? Like, who is Jourden? What's the takeaway?
What's the takeaway from the project? I don't want to give people a takeaway. I hope that you give it a chance to listen to it. I hope that you feel something from the project, whether it triggers a good emotion in you, whether it triggers a bad emotion in you. I hope you feel something from this project. I feel like we're not feeling enough from music nowadays. And I hope that if you relate, if you feel something good to it, you stay on this journey with us. I got a lot more to give. You know, I'm a young black woman from Brooklyn who's trying to advance this culture that I grew up loving, you know what I'm saying, and also bring a different type of spin and flair to it. So I hope that you guys are on board for, good music, substantive music. We always going to be trying to say something and get something out of the music. And just good vibes, like, you know what I'm saying? Good vibes. So
definitely that. Now, before we wrap, we got to play a game called Questions That Need Answers. All you have to do is fill in the blank.
Okay, let's do it. I think I'm ready.
All right. The older I get, the less I.
Ooh, the older I get, the less I complain.
That's good. That's great.
I'm trying to complain less, yeah.
Good for you. How's she doing with that?
Cap? It's a little cap on that? Yeah, I dead was complaining all the way here, so cap. But, like, I mean, in terms of, like, that's something I'm trying. Like, you know, you got to say you're going to try to do it so it actually happens. But I feel like at least about, like, BS. Like, I guess, like, sticking with the flow. Like,
good.
I can't, complaining about things I can't change, right?
That's good.
That's what I'll say. I'll clarify that one.
Good for you.
Since I got some people in the audience. You feel me?
You would never believe me if I told you.
Ooh. You would never. These are like, I'm like, damn, I should have got these before, so I gotta get you some real tea on this. You would never believe me if I told you I'm really a granny, like I be in the crib, I be asleep, or maybe you could believe that, but I don't know. Like I be in the crib, like
I'm a granny too.
I like we could do the outside, but we gotta be ready to do the outside turn up. Like I need some advance. If you gonna invite me to something, tell me please 2 days before at least, so I could just prepare.
Mentally prepared.
Yeah. So I feel like people wouldn't believe that, but I'm a granny, y'all.
Sometimes I look back at my life and.
Sometimes I look back on my life and I thank God. I thank God that we here, you know what I'm saying? We've been through a lot in general in life, and I'm just grateful for it all, to be here with Nyla. So
Yeah. Last one is my personality trait is.
My personality trait is. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. So I would say to be silly. I would say my personality trait is to be silly.
I like silly. Silly's great.
Yeah.
Jourden, thank you for stopping by on the
Thank
pod,
you,
man.
Nyla.
Thank you for your new project, Straight No Chase.
Straight
I'm
to
so
it.
glad it's out, and I'm a really big fan of you. So
Likewise.
happy to
Thank
have you
Nyla.
here.
Appreciate you, sis.
Shout out to Gram, let everybody know where they can follow you if they don't already.
Y'all, it's Jourden, aka She's Just Different. You can find me on all social media as She's Just Different. You can get my project Straight No Chase streaming right now on all DSPs. So thank you, Nyla. Appreciate you.
Of course. Talk soon, guys. Peace.
Peace.